All right, folks, I wish that it could all be good news. We're printing green candles. The market is back up, but we still have a reason for concern, and especially as a U.S. citizen, because it appears that we are going to be getting ourselves into another conflict with Biden set to declare some sort of military operation. I just said that we're basically declaring war because you know how we operate these days. We haven't officially declared war through Congress, the constitutional way that we are supposed to be declaring war. We haven't done that since World War II. Now we just have our president come on out, say that we got a situation, we're going on another military excursion. And that is set to be announced here later tonight. Let's get right on into this update here, folks. We're going to get a look at the markets after we talk about the current events. And it pains me to have to start off the episode by saying this, but I think that we want to pay our respect. And I wanted to give an opportunity here to share with you guys the names of the troops, the U.S. troops that have been killed in the Jordan drone strike. So we have Sergeant William Jerome Rivers, 46 of Carrollton, Georgia. Kennedy Layden Sanders, 24 of Waycross, Georgia. And Brianna Moffett, 23 of Savannah, Georgia. So may they rest in peace. May God bless our troops. Once again, I think it was over 30 reported injuries in this attack as well. Not good. But now in response, we have Biden getting the troops ready. And as early as tonight, President Joe Biden will be authorizing U.S. military action in the Middle East. This is being reported by Sky News. So we're going to get to see here what the strategy is going to be. Once again, we're not going to take the constitutional path and declare war through Congress. Now we're just going to have President Biden come on out, make an appearance, ramble in front of the podium for a little bit, and then we're going to be off to military conflict. This is the status that our falling empire is in right now, and it's an absolute shame to see. Very, very sad. And so what we have now, too, is misguided, misdirection. They can't get their story straight between the Pentagon and the White House now. We have no troops in Yemen. Then the White House reports, yes, we do. Pentagon spokesperson saying, I'm not aware of any U.S. forces on the ground. Contradicting that statement, we have the White House coming out and saying a small number of United States military personnel are deployed to Yemen. And this is out of The Intercept. And once again, we don't even know where our troops are at. We don't know who to believe. We got the Pentagon, we got the White House, we got Joe waking up from his nap, coming to the podium and making a statement, going back away, not answering any questions. What is going on in this country? And as I keep on bringing it back to, no matter whether or not you want to fund this war, this military operation, this government program, student loan forgiveness, bailouts here, we're broke, we're bust. We don't have the money to do it. We don't have the option to do it unless we want to print more dollars and destroy our reserve currency even further, which appears to be their choice and their option that they've selected. Now, in regards to this situation, a lot of fear mongering, a lot of posturing. I'm not trying to overhype this thing. I just think I'm acknowledging that we're in direct conflict right now and that our troops, our good men and women, are now in harm's way. And with Secretary of State Antony Blinken saying that the situation in the Middle East is currently the most dangerous since the Arab-Israeli War of 1973, and arguably even before that. Now, when you take us back to that moment in time, 71, Nixon took us off the gold standard, and the only way that we were able to keep the US dollar as the most accepted world reserve currency was during the 73. We had Kissinger going around and kissing you know what, and getting deals done, making sure that everybody was going to pay for oil in US dollars. And we obviously had the most recent conflict 50 years ago with obviously the Israeli-Arab War, the Yom Kippur War. And we now have it stirring back up again. And we compare, what we have going on right now, where back then we had Kissinger going around and getting deals done. Who's going around to get deals done now? Nobody. Nobody's respecting us anymore. And in fact, now we're starting to see countries getting cross-border payments done outside of the US dollar. Breaking news reported this morning from Gold Telegraph, the first cross-border payment using the UAE's digital dirham made. Another day, another big event, and what are we getting? We're getting no deals done, and now we're just launching new wars. We're getting ourselves caught up in new conflicts, and we're seeing more countries drop our dollar as a settlement, as a settlement for transactions, and also as a reserve store of value. They're dropping their bonds, like countries like China that are dropping bonds at a pace that we haven't seen since the great financial crisis. So this is really starting to expose the U.S. and the United States dollar. And we see another eerily similar data point right here that takes us once again back to March of 2020. From Ben Rickard, positive reversion of the yield curve is taking place now. This has been a 100% accurate indicator throughout history of a crisis unfolding. A March 2020 type demand destroying event is incoming. Buckle up. It is happening now, folks. And let me tell you real quick, the insiders know it. We've been tracking all of the largest CEOs. We've been tracking our politicians who are making their money, making their trades as well. And we're also seeing insiders selling off and dumping their bags at a record pace. Today's unusual whale alert came from Reed Hastings selling 1.1 billion in Netflix shares. So if you didn't catch the news last week, Netflix came out with their earnings. Earnings were good, and they announced the acquisition of WWE Raw. And the markets were going crazy. Everybody was celebrating, right? Netflix buys WWE Raw, and it made the whole market pump. Everyone had a good time. Everybody was having a party. And what were the insiders getting ready to do? Dump another $1 billion worth of shares. And so this is what I've been highlighting, is that these insiders, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, all of the top CEOs, even our politicians, are getting off. And now the politicians want to act like they want to stop themselves from trading stocks, right? And we warned how that was going to be a top signal. By the time that they ban themselves from trading stocks, our market's already going to be in free fall, right? And now this is also something that we talked about is I provided my market update for my Patreon Discord community on where I thought this market was going. I talked about it briefly in last night's live show as well. But this is kind of what we've expected, right? Where I was talking about a little bit of a temporary run-up leading into the FOMC meeting, which starts tomorrow. And we get the Fed interest rate decision on Wednesday, January 31st. But right now, we're seeing the stock market rally, and we're seeing Bitcoin rally as well, folks. Take a look at it real quick here. Now, this is Bitcoin back above 43,000. Just as we warned, I said a target of 43 to 45,000 for Bitcoin. And sure enough, 43,270 at the time of this recording. We'll see how much further we want to go. Now, we did see that silver is actually pumping again here today, back above $23 per ounce. And then we did go print new all-time highs for the S&P 500, for the Dow Jones. Look at those green candles. And for the NASDAQ, we're just off of the most recently printed all-time high, but we got green candles there as well. And even NVIDIA in after hours is still pumping right now, up to $630 for NVIDIA. And what is this all based off of? The Treasury funding update coming up that they just announced that they are now expecting. Let me get to it right here. Stocks rallied in the afternoon trade after the Treasury Department said it expects to borrow $760 billion in the first quarter, which is $55 billion lower than the previously estimated numbers. So don't worry, folks. The Treasury's only going to have to borrow $760 billion, and that is $55 billion less than the initial expectations. Market go up, everyone cheerlead, and now this is going to roll us into that Fed interest rate decision coming up here in less than 48 hours. Let's take a look at our economic calendar and the events that we got coming up. So we're looking at it right here. We have nothing that was announced here today. We got that announcement from the Treasury, which was unexpected, I guess, and that did jolt the markets back up. Tomorrow, though, we get the S&P Case-Shiller Home Price Index. That's going to be an important data point on the real estate reset. And by the way, I have another real estate update that's going to be dropping tomorrow titled Evergrande Ripple Effects. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit that notification bell so you catch that update. And then we also get job openings and consumer confidence, two good data points on where our economy is going to be standing. And then we also get that Fed interest rate decision coming in on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Let's watch out for that one. We'll watch out for that one. And what we're expecting right now is another pause in interest rates, right? Jerome Powell to say that we're just going to leave rates unchanged. We're going to keep watching the market, yada, yada, do his little dance that he's been doing. And what the market's starting to realize, the expectations and the market is now pricing in less of a chance that the Fed is going to cut rates in March. Now the market's starting to realize they're going to have to keep rates higher for longer, because we're still printing good numbers on jobs, on jobless claims, and basically the markets are delusional. We're still printing green candles, right? And so what many folks miss, though, is that by the time the Fed is going to come in and cut rates, that's usually when the market's already fallen apart. So once again, let's continue to watch this market closely. Green candles getting printed right now. And what I'm watching out for, my short-term outlook, is a little bit of a rally up here this week into that FOMC meeting decision on Wednesday. And then after the news comes out, we come back down to reality, and basically the hype dies back down. And then I do think that the correction continues for cryptocurrencies specifically. The broader correction in the equities, I don't know when that's going to come in, but I'm expecting it to come in here shortly. Enjoy the rally while it lasts. For me, I am not interested at all in buying an S&P 500 that's at all time, a NASDAQ, a Dow that's at all time, an NVIDIA that's at all time. You guys can have it if you want it. I'm not here to give you financial advice. I'm just not interested at all. I'm looking at sectors that have been completely overlooked and suppressed, like commodities. And I do include crypto commodities in that, as I believe that we are entering the next commodities super cycle. A run up to be expected here in 2024 and 2025, and then another wave up into 2028, 2029, finishing off this super cycle into 2030. But we're just getting started with that. So stay safe out there. I got my cash on the sidelines, and I'm waiting to buy this correction. I put out my targets now for Bitcoin down to 35,000. And for XRP down to maybe 45 cents or lower. Let's watch it closely, guys. If you appreciate our updates, please make sure that you smash that thumbs up for me. And we do appreciate all the support out there. You can support our page by going to my website, ZachRector.com, using our affiliates for cryptocurrency exchanges, wallets, precious metals. And if you want to get tapped in with our Patreon Discord community, that's also at my website. It's ZachRector.com. I will see you guys in the next one. God bless you all.